Hey y'all, it's Ryan, and welcome back to episode 9. I think this is episode 9, right? It's been a minute of our Angels franchise here on Out of the Park Baseball 27. I've simulated up to opening day of the 2028 season, and if we go to mail and news, the first game this year is the Boston Red Sox facing off at Petco Park against the San Diego Padres. And our actual opening day, our first game is tomorrow against the Atlanta Braves, the team we're opening up against in 2028. Just one note, I did read the comments of the last video, and I agree. It would definitely make more sense to at least start with Menchaca in center field as opposed to playing him at third base. He could play both positions well, and I think that you guys are definitely 100% correct. It makes more sense to put him out in center. I said, I think probably in the first episode of this series, it's always difficult to find a set and forget center fielder. And I think that Menchaca can definitely be that guy. He has the ratings to play a very good defensive center field. The profile is a little unique. He's not going to hit for a high average, but a ton of power and a good eye. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do for us here in this first year. So our lineup going into the season is going to be Neto leading off. I moved Yamaguchi up to second in the lineup, followed by Menchaca. Shano, who got a slight power bump during spring training. His power grade is now at a 50 out of a potential 65. He's going to be our cleanup hitter, followed by Christian Moore, Lazaro Montes, that guy we got from the Mariners and trade early last offseason. And we needed a third baseman, so I looked at the free agent pool, and we ended up signing Ryan McMahon, who spent the last 2 years in the sim in 2026 and 2027. He spent them all with the New York Yankees. In 2026, he didn't do too well, an OPS of 600 and OPS plus of 69, and he was a negative value player. But last year, he bounced back, an OPS of 714, so he was basically a league average bat, 99 OPS plus, 100 WRC plus, but he had a 2.6 WAR. I know that he's going to be good defensively, and he's got a little bit of power to his game, a good eye. I'm not expecting too much with the bat, but I think that he can at least hold his own defensively, and if it turns out that that was not a good decision, we can always maybe move some guys around in our own infield, or we can look at the trade block in a couple months as we get to June and July, but we'll revisit that if we need to. Luis Torrens is our starting catcher, and we're going to go with Nelson Rada to start the season in left field over Chase DeLauder. Our starting rotation, Hunter Brown, Grayson Rodriguez, Drew Rasmussen, Ryan Johnson, and Mitch Ferris, and our bullpen, Garrett Whitlock, Jose Alvarado, Graham Ashcraft, Jared Koenig, Josh Spores, Jake Cousins, who's going to be out for just a few more days with a little forearm tendonitis, Tyler Phillips, and Chase Silseth. And if we go to the preseason predictions, you can see that your Angels projected to go 81-81, which would be an improvement over a season ago, but it seems like we're going to be, at least in the division race, at least according to the preseason predictions, we're going to score 741 runs. We're projected to let up 772, so pitching might be a slight issue, but it seems like we'll at least score some runs this year, which has been an issue for us the past couple seasons. The Athletics are projected to win the AL West, and you can see Las Vegas Athletics. It is official. They are now the Las Vegas Athletics. Followed by the Mariners at 82-80, the Astros 76-86, and the Rangers rounding out our predicted division at 70-92. The Orioles and the Red Sox projected to both finish with 93-69 records in the AL East and the AL Central. The Tigers projected to go 93-69. Win that division. There are your top hitters and pitchers in the American League. And in the National League, the Braves are projected to win a tight NL East with a record of 87-75. The Reds at 96-66 projected to win the Central, and the Dodgers projected to finish with the best record in the league, 97-65 in the NL West. And there are your top 10 NL projected hitters and pitchers. So we do not have any of the top 10 projected pitchers, but we do have two of the top projected batters in the American League. Menchaca being projected to hit 41 home runs, 91 runs batted in, steal a few bases. He 269 with a 374 OBP and a 526 slugging. Takashi Yamaguchi projected to hit 50 home runs, which, at least according to the projections, would be the most in the league. 103 runs batted in, hit for a low average 221, a 315 OBP, and a 493 slugging. I'd be happy with that if that's what those two guys did here in their first year in the major leagues. But without further ado, let's get started with the 2028 season. I will check back in about a month. I did just want to mention one thing we did just lose on opening day. I'd wanted to go through first of all, the season expectation from Artie, at least try to stay close to an even record. I think we should definitely be able to do that this year. But the top 100 prospects list was published, and while we didn't have anyone in the top 10, if we go to the minor league system report, the Angels are 17th. So we're almost there to the top half of the league in terms of farm systems, and we have 3 guys in the top 100. Alex Gonzalez, who was our 3rd overall pick in 2027. He's the 14th ranked prospect in the league. Jason Case, who we got in the 2nd round of the 2027 draft, he is 36th. And Ken Gordon, who we got in the 4th round of that draft, is the 90th ranked prospect. So slowly but surely, as I said in the last episode, we are improving this farm system, and hopefully it won't take too much longer for us to get not only to the top half of the league, but hopefully the top 10 and maybe even the top 5. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, it is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2028, so a slightly more than a month. Your Angels 16 and 15, 3.5 back in the AL West and 1.5 back in the American League wildcard race. We actually started off the season really, really well. After losing opening day, we won the next, I think, 7. Yeah, we won our next 7 games, so we were 7-1. And then we started losing a little bit. I mean, you can do the math. We're 16 and 15, so that's 9 and 14 since the 7-1 start, which is not ideal. Looking at the team stats, we're 6th in OPS with a 730 clip. We're 3rd in the American League in home runs, 2nd in walks. We are 3rd in base running. Defensively, it doesn't seem like we're doing super well. Our pitching's been a mixed bag, so I'll go through the individual players here, and our big acquisitions in the offseason are paying off so far. We will start with Menchaca, who is already a 2-win player a month into the season. Triple slash of 275, 363, a 642 slugging percentage for an OPS over 1,000, at 170 OPS plus, a 172 WRC plus. All this with a 265 BABIP, 12 home runs, which leads our team 22 runs batted in. A very good signing so far, Menchaca has been. I mean, you can look at his StatCast rankings, all elite, all really, really good. So I'm really happy that that signing is working out so far. Similarly, Takashi Yamaguchi. Now, he is not quite as impressive as Menchaca, but still a good addition to our lineup. We were looking for offense, and he is providing it. A very low batting average, but we knew that was going to happen when we signed him. A 328 OBP, a 522 slugging leads us to an 850 OPS, a 130 OPS plus. He has 10 home runs and 21 runs batted in. I believe that 10 home run mark is good for 2nd on the team, and it is just behind Menchaca's 12. Nelson Rada has been a very pleasant surprise, an OPS over 900, a 364 average, a 457 OBP. He has a home run and 6 runs batted in and 6 stolen bases. Now, how much of this is sustainable? Probably not much. His expected batting average is 275. His walk rate, his strikeout rate, both very good, at least in the percentile rankings. His walk rate, 12.8% so far. His strikeout rate, 14.5%. Now, he's never quite done this at this level before with the walk rate, a 12.8% walk rate. His previous career high was 8.4, so that's jumped 4% this year. The strikeout rate has been cut, although he did it in a very small sample size in 2026 at 14.3. Last year it rose to 23.6, but this year down to 14.5. Is he going to hit 364 the rest of the season? Absolutely not. Is he even going to hit above 300? Probably not, but you can see his average exit velocity, his max exit velocity, his barrel percentage, his hard hit rate. It's not leading me to believe that he's going to hit for a 900 plus OPS the rest of the season. But still a nice, pleasant surprise here in the early going. Nolan Shonowell, a 746 OPS, a 0.2 win player. Luis Torrens has gotten off to another solid start. He was actually OPSing recently, I think at around like an 850 clip, so I think he's starting to slow down just a little bit, but still he's been close to a 1-win player. Zach Neto off to a bit of a slow start, a 666 OPS and an 83 OPS plus, but still a positive value player. And Montes so far has been a disappointing addition. He was the guy that we traded for with the Mariners early in the offseason. And you can see a 575 OPS. That's not going to get things done here in the majors. Christian Moore, he got injured. I think it was a rib issue. So he missed a couple weeks, and he's come back recently, a 575 OPS. I want to give him a little bit of time to adjust. Ryan McMahon has not worked out as we thought he would at third base, a 545 OPS. He's been a negative value player, so at least so far here in the early going, he's kind of pacing more like he did in 2026 and not like he did in 2027. but still some time to turn things around. We'll wait on him. In terms of pitching, it's been a mixed bag. Our internal pitchers have actually been a little bit better than our big acquisitions. Hunter Brown, a 5.56 ERA and a FIP of 5.22, so a very rough start for Hunter Brown. You can see in 34 innings, he's allowed 21 earned runs, 32 strikeouts, 10 walks. Has not been very good. Hitters are hitting 327 off him. I'm confident that he's going to turn things around. I think it's just a bit of a rough start to the season. In fact, if we go to his stats and we look at his full game log for the year, you can see that there's some starts mixed in there where you could see, like, he started off the season pretty well. That start against the Yankees, the Braves start was rough, but he bounced back against the Yankees and the Athletics and the Astros. But these last few starts, he's gotten pretty shelled, especially that 11-3 loss to Houston. He's letting up some home runs, which I don't like, but I'm still confident that he's going to be able to anchor our rotation this year. I would not have traded for him if I didn't think so. Drew Rasmussen, similarly, a 5.97 ERA and a 4.78 FIP, not getting what I thought we were going to get out of him. And if we take a look here at his 2028 game log, and he started off the season pretty well in his first two starts, and then went to Colorado, didn't do too well, went to Houston, didn't do too well, bounced back against the Cubs, and this most recent start against the Astros, he just didn't have it. He's also been letting up home runs recently. He's let up 5 in his last 4 games, his last 4 starts. But I traded for him because I thought he could be a solid piece of the rotation, and it's only May. There's a lot of time to turn this around. Grayson Rodriguez has been on an absolute tear, looking at the positives. An ERA under 1 through his first 6 starts of the season, 0.97, and a FIP of 2.86. Hitters are only hitting 182 off of him. He's been a 1-win pitcher so far. Now, once again, is this sustainable? I doubt it. But still, a very, very strong start for Grayson here to begin the 2028 season. Even if he pitches closer to his FIP the rest of the year, that would still be a really, really pleasant development. We're looking for pitchers, and Grayson, I don't think I expected anything like this from him. I thought he would be a solid mid-rotation guy, but he's proven me wrong so far this year. Ryan Johnson, a 2.76 ERA and a 3.34 FIP. He's just been a model of consistency since he's been in the major leagues with us in this save, and he's improved each year. A 4.34 ERA in 2026, dropped down to 3.77 last season, and this year so far, 2.76. He just keeps finding ways to get better. Mitch Ferris, back end of the rotation, a 4.45 ERA, 5.61 FIP. I'd like to see maybe a tick better. Bullpen-wise, Garrett Whitlock, that ERA is a little misleading. You can see that he was actually off to a really good start for us before this 5 earned run and 2/3 of an inning outing against the Astros on April 27th. That was a rough game for our pitchers, it seems like. He has a 2.77 FIP. I'm not concerned. He's going to hold it down at the back end of our bullpen. And Tyler Phillips, he's been pressed into a setup role because of an injury to Graham Ashcraft, who is going to be back in just about a week. He has 10 days left on the IL, so probably just a short rehab assignment for him, and then he'll come back. So Tyler Phillips has been put into setup work, and he's had an up-and-down season so far. Right now, his ERA has settled in at 4.7, but I think once we move him back to middle relief, he'll be okay. Alvarado, a good start to the year for him, a 1.56 ERA and a 2.44 FIP, no complaints there. Our middle relief options have been a little rough, although it's kind of the same. It's just so early in the season, these guys. They've had a couple outings that have really inflated their ERAs. I don't know who I'm going to send down when Ashcraft comes back because we just called up Fermin, and he's had 3 clean innings so far. He was doing well with Salt Lake, a 2.25 ERA, 10 strikeouts or just 1 walk, and 8 innings of work. So we'll have to make that decision when we get to it. But otherwise, I think there are reasons to be optimistic, and especially look at our minor league system. AAA, we're off to a 16-12 start. We're second. They are Rocket City Trash Pandas, 18-4 start there in the Southern League in AA. Tri-City Dust Devils at High A, off to a 15-9 start. Our Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, 11-11, but that's still good for first place. Our minor leagues are looking really good to start the season. Just finished up May. It is now Thursday, June 1st. We're about to start a 3-game set here against the Chicago White Sox and your Angels, 27-29, 7.5 back of the Las Vegas Athletics, and 1.5 back in the wild card race. Going here to team stats, May was a rough month, 11-16. We're pretty mid overall. We are 6th in runs scored in the American League, 9th in batting average, 7th in OBP, 6th in OPS, tied for 7th in stolen bases, 6th in base running, and then pitching-wise, it's been not too good. 10th in runs against, 9th in starters ERA, 12th in bullpen ERA. We're 7th in FIP, which maybe is a little promising. 11th in strikeouts, 14th in defensive efficiency. So defensively, we've been pretty bad this year. 15th in zone rating and 15th in errors. That's probably part of the reason why we're doing so poorly at 27 and 29. Not the only reason, granted, but I'm sure it's not helping the pitchers. And we'll take a look at the offense to start things off here. Menchaca has cooled off a lot since we last checked in. Still an 861 OPS, a 329 OBP, a 532 slugging, but the average has dropped a little bit. He only hit 5 home runs since the last time we checked in. He's now at 17 home runs on the season. Takashi Yamaguchi, he's still OPSing around 800, but now his average is under the Mendoza line at 193. A 319 OBP, a 478 slugging. He has 17 home runs, so he has tied Menchaca so far in 2028 through the first 2+ months. Zach Neto has rebounded in a big way. He is now OPSing over 800 with a 270 average, a 322 OBP, and a 483 slugging. He is now at double-digit home runs on the year with 10. Nolan Shonwell was hitting over 280 recently. He's down to 276, but an 816 OPS. He has 6 home runs and 26 runs batted in and 10 stolen bases. Neto has 11 stolen bases. Other than that, Terens is still doing well at 779 OPS for him. I'm happy with that. Rada has cooled off, but hitting above 300, just above 300 at 301, but his numbers have dropped a little bit as we expected them to. Unfortunately, we kind of have 3 black holes in the lineup right now with Christian Moore. He's OPSing just above 600 at 603. Lazaro Montes only at 587 and Ryan McMahon at 551. All 3 of them have been negative value players. Pitching-wise, Hunter Brown has not improved like I thought he would. Not quite a very good acquisition so far. It's not looking like, and luckily, we only have him for this season. I don't think we're going to be giving him an extension, not if he continues to pitch like this. A 6.71 ERA in 57 2/3 innings of work and a 5.19 FIP. It's a little frustrating because you look at his FIPs the last 2 years, despite the high ERAs, that would have indicated to me that there is something to work with. Unfortunately, it just has not worked well for him here with the Angels, a 0.1 WAR. I kind of wonder if maybe I should have tried to go in a different direction somehow because it has not worked with Brown, nor really has it worked with Rasmussen. He hasn't been quite as bad, an ERA just over 5 and a FIP of 4.51, but still not what I thought I was getting out of Rasmussen. Last year, a 4.23 ERA and a 3.60 FIP. Grayson Rodriguez has gotten a little worse. You can see that he got shelled against the Dodgers. We lost 16-1 in that game, but a 2.70 ERA and a 3.54 FIP. So overall, he's still doing pretty well given what our expectations for him were. Ryan Johnson, a 3.93 ERA and a pretty close FIP, so still Mr. Consistency is Ryan Johnson. And Mitch Ferris has gotten it together after a rough start to the season. Now, the FIP is high, 5.46, almost 2 runs higher than his 3.59 ERA. He's probably true talent-wise, a 4.3 to 4.5-ish ERA type of guy. Last year, he was at 4.7, so he'll probably end up there, but still for a 5th guy in the rotation, I can't be too upset about that. Take a look at the bullpen. We got Ashcraft back recently, and we still have him and Alvarado as our setup guys. Whitlock, who had a couple of rough outings there against the Rangers in our most recent series. He let up some runs, but still not worried about him. Fermin has come back down to earth after his solid start. Now he has an ERA above 5. Phillips is at 7.71. Cousins and Spores in the mid to high 6s, but still Seth holding it down in long relief. Looking at our minor league teams here, the Salt Lake Bees still around 500 at 27-26. They are 3rd. The Rock City Trash Pandas 32-15, still in 1st. The Tri-City Dust Devils 27-24, which is good for 2nd. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes 23-24, also good for 2nd place. And our rookie Complex League team at 15-8 is in 1st place here to begin their season. This is a big month. As I said, we're 1.5 games out in the wild card, 7.5 in the division. I don't know necessarily if I'm even looking at the division, but we're in the playoff race right now for a wild card spot. I'd like to think that we can get there, but we're going to have to try to figure out what we can do defensively. I think that's been quite a big issue for us. As I said, I'm sure it's not helping some of our pitchers. So I just made one small move. I demoted Lazaro Montes just to see if maybe putting him in AAA will help him out at all. So we bumped Christian Moore into the outfield. He's got a better arm than Montes. I want to see if that maybe does anything. And by association, that puts Ariel Amador as the starting base. It's the starting second baseman. And it's not like he's hitting it super well, but still an OPS of 711. It is an upgrade over what we were dealing with the last two guys in our lineup. So he'll be able to hold his own defensively at second base. I want to see if maybe that helps a little bit because he is slightly better defensively at second than Christian Moore is. And I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if it's really going to materially change anything. There's not a ton we can do to change the lineup around defensively. Looking through some individual players through our minor leagues, Randy DeJesus has been the pleasant surprise at AAA to begin the 2028 season through 25 games started, 34 games overall. His average is 252, an OBP of 308. Doesn't look super great, but a slugging of 551. So he has an 859 OPS. This is his first taste of AAA, and he's been doing pretty well so far. 8 home runs, 18 runs batted in, and a 112 WRC+. Pitching rise, the rotation has been pretty good, headlined by George Klassen, a 2.88 ERA, a slightly higher FIP of 4.14, but still a pretty good start to the season for Klassen. Similar for Caden Dana, a 3.64 ERA, but an even better 2.74 FIP. Jonathan Santucci, a 3.43 ERA and a 3.61 FIP. This is a guy that we got in that trade with the Guardians at the deadline last year, and he's been okay so far. Victor Medeiros, a 4.68 ERA and a similar FIP, not too bad for the back end of the rotation. And Tanner McDougal, who we got on waivers from the Twins last year, a 2.88 ERA and a 3.90 FIP down in AAA. Pitching-wise, down in Rocket City, Jackson Delana, the guy that we got in the trade with the Padres at the 2026 deadline, a 2.97 ERA and a 4.15 FIP through 10 games started this year. Last year at AA with Rancho Cucamonga, he pitched to a 5.03 ERA and a 4.65 FIP. So quite the improvement this year. The FIP is down a little bit. The ERA is down a lot. Happy to see that for Jackson. Tri-City Dust Devils, this is the first time in high A for Zach Konstantinovsky, and he has been good so far with a 2.05 ERA and a 3.41 FIP through 10 starts. Rancho Cucamonga, this is where we have some of our drafted names from our first couple seasons. Trey Gregory Alford, he was not one of them. He was already with us, but he has been good so far as a starting pitcher this year. He is fragile, so I'm kind of just waiting for the bottom to fall out again. But a 2.29 ERA and a 3.36 FIP so far at A-ball for Trey Gregory Alford, something he should be doing at 22 years old. You see, last year he was good as well. So he's knocking on the door of a call-up. In fact, he could probably be called up right now just to see what he could do either at high A or at double A. So a good start for Trey Gregory Alford. CJ Gray at 3.93 ERA and a 4.48 FIP. Lineup-wise, Jack Tilly off to a good start with an 832 OPS, a 350 OBP, and a 482 slugging, 5 home runs and 17 RBIs so far for Natilli, who was our 6th-round pick in our first draft back in 2026. Jason Case, a 731 OPS, which as a catcher, I'm very happy about. A 344 OBP, a 387 slugging. He's been a positive value player so far, 0.3. The rest of these guys not doing super well. Jack Bell, who we got in, I think, the 9th round of the draft last season. He has an OPS above 700. The rest of these guys, CJ Sampson, Will Brick, Juan Sanchez, Keaton Neal, and Ryan Harwood, all off to pretty rough starts down in A-ball this year. And just a quick look at our rookie league team in the Arizona Complex League. Alex Gonzalez has been the big disappointment among our batters so far. Only a 735 OPS. He's been a negative win player, 300 average, a 375 OBP through 21 games. He's had 112 plate appearances, and unfortunately just not doing as well as I wanted him to. He's getting on base, which I guess is good, especially for a guy that just turned 19 last month in May. A 19.6 strikeout rate, a 9.8% walk rate so far. On the whole, a 735 OPS normally would not be terrible. It's just when you compare it to what all these other guys are doing at the Arizona Complex League this year, what Alex is doing in comparison makes it look a little worse. I think ultimately he'll turn it around. I'm pretty confident that he's going to be a good piece for us. Pitching-wise, we'll take a look at Ken Gordon, who was also one of the top 100 prospects in baseball. He's off to a good start, a 2.66 ERA and a 3.24 FIP through his first 5 starts. He's getting some strikeouts, walking some guys, at least in that start. Solid season, though, so far for Mr. Gordon. All right, it is Monday, July 10th. I completely forgot about the first-year player draft, so it's not quite the All-Star break if we look at the calendar. That is a week from now, but obviously this is a good place to stop. Your Angels 44 and 46, 9.5 back in the AL West and 1.5 back in the very crowded AL wildcard race. So we didn't lose any ground, right? But we didn't gain any ground either. And this team, we're just very up and down. You can see that at the start of June, we were winning some games, losing some games. Then we went on a nice 2-week stretch here against the White Sox, the Blue Jays, the Royals, and the Diamondbacks. And then we just went on a massive cold spell over the last week or so where we lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. We lost 3 out of 4 to the Rays. We just got swept by the Twins, and we lost 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. We went, 15 and 12 in June, 2 and 5 so far in July. We are 5th in the AL in on base percentage, 10th in batting average, 5th in slugging, 5th in OBP, 8th in batter WAR. We are 7th in home runs, 2nd in walks, 5th in stolen bases, 6th in base running. Pitching-wise, not super great. We're towards the bottom in most of the categories in the American League. The defense has not been much better over the last month or so, but we're in it, right? You take a look at our pitching staff. I did make a change. I did have to demote Jose Fermin, and his ERA was over 8, and we have called up Manuel Castro, who is doing good at AAA so far this year, a 2.03 ERA and a 3.39 FIP through 20 games for the Salt Lake Bees. Otherwise, most of these guys are doing all right. Ashcraft and Alvarado still doing well, as is Garrett Whitlock. Cousins, not so much, but he has a FIP of 3.66, so I'd like to think that as the season goes on, he can get closer to that. Spores has been not too good, but a 4.52 FIP, maybe he can be a little better for us. Silseth has been good in long relief. Pitching-wise, it's been Grayson, it's been Ryan Johnson, it's been Mitch Ferris. They've been very reliable for us. Rasmussen and Hunter Brown just have not been the guys that we thought they would be this year. Unfortunately, we just have to try to keep working through that. Looking at how our batters have done, Takashi Yamaguchi has taken the team lead in OPS. He leads the team with 24 home runs, 1 more than Menchaca, who is on a pretty massive cold streak. His OPS just above 800 for now. His average has dropped considerably down to 231, a 321 OBP, and a 483 slugging. His WAR, which when we checked it after the first month of the season was 1.9, it is still 1.9 for Menchaca. Neto, a very good season so far for our shortstop, an 812 OPS, 15 home runs, which is third on the team, 47 runs batted in, and 15 stolen bases. So he's on pace definitely for a 2020 season. Maybe he'll get to 25-25, and if he gets really hot, maybe even a 30-30 is possible. Nolan Shonowell, a 765 OPS. He has 10 home runs. He just reached double digits recently. Luis Torrens, OPSing at 778. Ariel Amador holding his own at second base. He has been a 1.2 win player this year. Nelson Rada has cooled off with an OPS at 752, but still a positive value player. 16 stolen bases. Christian Moore has been doing a little better. His OPS is now close to 700, as is Ryan McMahon. So offensively, I'm pretty happy with how the guys are doing. 5th overall this year in the American League in runs scored. So it's really not the bats that have been the issue, and that was what we aimed to do, right? In an attempt to make our team more competent, we knew we needed to add to the offense and start scoring some runs, and we have 412 runs scored so far this season through, 90 games, 44 and 46. The pitching, though, has just been an issue, although the FIP is 7th. So really, I think what all this boils down to is we are pretty mid, right? And that was the goal from Artie, was to remain close to an even record. We're 44 and 46. We're right in the middle of this very crowded AL wildcard race. The American League East teams have a firm hold on the first two, but it's just a lot of mid here. We have the Mariners at 46 and 45, Yankees a game back at 45 and 46. The Tigers tied with us at 44 and 46. The Astros 42 and 48. Even the Rays at 40 and 52. They're only 6.5 back with a few months left, so they're obviously still in it. I think we can remain with this group of teams all season, but if we want to try to pull away from any of these teams that we're chasing or we're competing directly against, I should say, we'll probably need to make some type of a trade. What that is, I'm not too sure. I mean, I think the guys will tell me. I think the offense as a whole is pretty solid. I mean, maybe we try to find an upgrade at third base. I don't really know if there's a move we can make that would make us better defensively. Maybe just strengthening the bench and maybe putting some defensive replacements in late would possibly help. I'm not too sure. But otherwise, pitching wise, probably looking for some type of middle relief help. I think would be good. That way we can get Spores or Cousins, probably Spores, out of the bullpen. I think he's probably the guy that we would look to move out unless Castro struggles. So really, 2 relief arms probably would be helpful. Starting pitching wise, I don't know. I mean, it would be nice, right, to have 2 starting pitchers whose ERAs did not begin with a 5 or a 6, but we'll see what's out there on the trade market. The guys will tell me what we need, and hopefully over these next few weeks they continue to play well and we don't fall too far out of the race, because especially after the All-Star break, if we pile up some losses early, that might do it and we might just stand pat with the guys that we do have. But I'm pretty confident that we've played close to an even record all season. I'd like to think that'll continue here throughout the final few weeks of July. So in the next episode, episode number 10, we will tackle the first-year player draft, where I believe we have the 3rd overall pick again for the 2nd year in a row. So we're definitely going to get a good player there. We will sim up to the deadline, and then we'll complete the 2028 season. Maybe a playoff push. We'll wait and see. But I think a solid start, all things considered. I think my expectations maybe were just a tick higher than 44 and 46 as we reach the middle of July. But we're in the playoff race. Menchaca and Yamaguchi as a whole, they've been up and down, but still very happy that we added them last offseason in free agency. I think that they've made a definite improvement on our lineup this year. So overall, I think some reasons for optimism here for your Angels. So I'll catch you guys again all in episode number 10. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the delay. I know it's been a minute, but did not forget about you guys. Don't worry. Very happy to get this episode uploaded, and I will catch you guys again in episode 10. See you then.